Hello, Capricorn. So here is your reading for the week of February 19th through about the 25th. These are general. Take what works, and what doesn't work just doesn't work. But if you stumble upon this reading at a later date, there may be something in it for you. But let's see what the cards have to say. In your recent past position, you have the Six of Pentacles. In your current energy, you have the Four of Pentacles. In your near future, you have the Two of Swords. What's challenging you for the week is Judgment in reverse. And your recommendation is the Ace of Wands. Okay. Now, the Six of Pentacles indicates that in your past or your recent past, you were very giving. This is all about giving and receiving, but I feel for you, you guys might have been very giving of your time, your energy, resources, whatever this represents for you. You were very helpful to other people. You were very willing to help somebody else, kind of that person that people could go to if they needed something. But this always indicates that you always kept a little bit for yourself as well. Like you weren't putting yourself in a bad position, financially or whatever, but you were always willing to be helpful to somebody else. Now, your current energies indicates that you're a little bit more holding on to things now. You're not in this giving phase currently with whatever's going on, but you're a little kind of holding on to something. So I wonder for some of you if something kind of shifted in your life where you're now having to kind of like keep your resources to yourself because you might be afraid that something, either there's been like a setback or some financially things aren't going as well as they were in the past, or there's some situation that's happened where it's causing you to be like a little bit more reserved in a sense. So, okay, so that's currently what's happening. But now what's coming in for you is the Two of Swords. And this card indicates like a little bit of indecision. This card, I always see it as like the devil you know versus the devil you don't. You have maybe different options that you can choose from to move towards, but you're not really sure what's better for you. You might just be in almost like a stalemate. It's a card of like, you're not making a decision that's going to help you move forward, so you're kind of stuck. But a lot of times this card indicates that you need to kind of trust your intuition and kind of go with your gut a little bit. But for whatever reason, there might be something, this could be you feeling that you need to switch jobs or whatever. This could be anything for you that you're just not really sure about the best path forward. But your challenge for the week with Judgment in reverse indicates that you're almost like self-doubting yourself, but you're also like blocking your own enlightenment. I always see Judgment as the card of becoming a zombie. It's in the upright position. It, shows people rising up out of the coffin as the undead often do. But they're stepping into their new lives. Like they were people at one point and then they died. So they transitioned from being a human, like living, breathing person, to death. So now that they transitioned to like a corpse, but now they've transitioned from that once again to a zombie, the afterlife, or whatever you want to call it. So they've transitioned multiple times, and each one of these transitions has helped them achieve a different level of consciousness, a different level of being. So they can never really go back to the way they once were because they've almost like evolved, and the Judgment card is seen as a good evolution. It's better for yourself. But in reverse, it's almost like you're blocking this evolution. Some of you I think you guys were the ones that were getting, I don't know, a few weeks back or something that you had the Judgment a few times. So I wonder if now with whatever's happened, you might be kind of blocking that a little bit, because to me, the Judgment card, it's not always like just a straight path. Once you reach this enlightenment, it's not always like, okay, you're like in the land of enlightenment now. I feel like this is a card where it's always like I don't want to say you're against yourself, but it's always like you might have gained a certain kind of enlightened mindset or a certain type of mindset where you feel a little bit better. You feel like you have a little bit of a clearer or a better perspective. You might not be so much, I don't want to say in the mud anymore with certain aspects, but you're a little bit like a healthier mindset. But sometimes with life, it brings us back down again. So I think for some of you, your challenge is to try to turn this right side up again, like to try to not be doubting yourself, not be kind of back to certain old ways or certain old ways of doing something. But to try to shift out of this, to shift this right side up and get back into like more of a healthier state of mind, a healthier state of being, like rise above your old self in a sense. But what's recommended for you is the Ace of Wands. And this is about taking action. This is about maybe a new opportunity or new way of doing things that you need to implement, or it's time to implement. And I think by doing that, you're going to help shift yourself out of this Four of Pentacles. I don't always see the Four of Pentacles as being a bad card. I think it could indicate like you're being a little bit more aware financially or aware of your resources. So I don't think that's a bad situation, because maybe right now you're a little bit more aware because in the future, or you're starting to think about maybe you want to do something different that's going to require more resources, or there's different ways you want to go around something. So I don't think that's always a bad thing. But I think with the Judgment here, this is saying don't remain stuck. You need to kind of figure out the next step so you're moving towards your better life in a sense. Okay, let's see what else the cards have to say for you guys. Okay, so you have Pig Spirit, use your mind wisely. And I definitely think this is kind of going with this Judgment in reverse. You might be blocking yourself currently with some thought process or kind of back to old habits. So I think this is saying you need to use your mind wisely. And I feel like with the Ace of Wands being recommended, there's something with this Four of Pentacles and this incoming Two of Swords, because maybe you have an idea that you're going to have to really make some kind of decision, or this decision is starting to come into your realm of being currently where you're going to have to make a decision, and it could be causing you to feel a little bit stuck, and you might be feeling like this decision, you're not entirely sure how you're going to do it or what's the way to go. So I think this is saying use your mind wisely. With the Pig Spirit is saying you just need to kind of start planning, because the Ace of Wands is recommended, and this is all about action. So start taking action on something that maybe will help this Two of Swords moment be a little easier for you in the future. So I think right now you have to kind of watch that you're getting stuck or mentally kind of doubting yourself or kind of holding yourself back, but take some type of action. So you're going to have to figure that out, Okay, so that's great. Now we have Citrine. I love Citrine. Bring in the light. And I think this is saying that because the Two of Swords, she's blindfolded. She can't really see. And the Four of Pentacles here, he's kind of stuck. He's a little bit of afraid of the future or bad things happening. So he's trying to hold on to what he has because he has concerns. And then the Judgment card is about being like clouded again, like you were experiencing this kind of transformation, this really positive transformation, but for whatever reason you got sucked back in to kind of certain old ways or certain kind of fears. But I think this is saying that somehow you need to shift out of this. And this Ace of Wands, I feel like whatever this Ace of Wands represents for you is going to be bringing in some kind of perspective, some kind of light for you guys. So, and then mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds, introspection. And I kind of feel like that's going with the Judgment. I wonder if, you know what? I wonder for some of you if the Six of Pentacles was that you were really helping someone else, like helping a friend, and for whatever reason, something has happened and you were helping a situation, and for whatever reason, you kind of feel like maybe you're holding back from that helping phase, because this could be that something happened within your own finances or something happened within the friendship. But I wonder if like this Judgment in reverse here is that almost like you guys are mirroring each other again. And I wonder if some of you started to kind of evolve a little bit and you were starting to realize like, you know what, like I don't want to be all like in this mess anymore, or I kind of don't want to deal with this, right? You might have even felt like you were giving too much. I don't want to say that you were being taken advantage of, because I don't think you were, but maybe you were starting to realize that maybe this person was kind of taking advantage. And for whatever reason, this week you're kind of falling back into old habits. But the introspection, I wonder if it's kind of coming with this judgment in reverse, kind of getting down on yourself. But I think this is just saying that you just need to watch that. If this represents like a friendship for you, that you're not kind of going tit for tat with this person as well. Because this card, it could be giving or receiving as well, this Six of Pentacles. So just make sure you're not going tit for tat with somebody where it's a little bit like petty in a way. That's what I'm getting. Okay. Now, very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And I feel like this is going with this Two of Swords here. This trying to figure out the next steps. So I think this is something that you're going to have to start thinking about or figuring out. What do you want, Capricorns? What do you guys want? Okay, now for your positive quote for the week, we have, when your past calls don't answer, it has nothing new to say. And I wonder for some of you if this is the past, if this Six of Pentacles is kind of like the past trying to call in again. And then it's causing you this kind of like setback with your enlightenment or your new way of being. But you'll know for yourself. But sometimes, people, they're the same. They never change. It's like the same stuff. It's like just play it on repeat, Sometimes time does change people. Sometimes people do evolve. I feel like you were on a path of evolution yourself, of like self-evolution. But I think sometimes when people come up out the woodwork again, it kind of pulls you back into their BS or their whatever again. So this might be something you just have to kind of be aware of, Now for your positive affirmation card for the week, you have, today I will breathe. Today as I face challenges, I will call mental timeout. Okay, let me read that again. Today I will breathe. Today as I face challenges, I will call a mental timeout. I will consciously breathe with my eyes closed and focus on slowing my inhalation and exhalation. So I think this is saying if you're having a little bit of stress, if you're getting a little anxious, if you're getting a little fearful, because this week the Four of Pentacles, it could represent like you're afraid of the future, so you're holding on to what you have kind of tightly and you're afraid to make a move because you're scared that you'll either rock the boat and something bad will happen or some situation is going on. So it's just saying that if you are starting to feel that fear or feel that stress, just take a minute, like just breathe it out a second, just like take a pause. Let's see what Bob Ross has to say for you today or this week. That's a crooked tree. We'll send him to Washington. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Oh God, I love that. That's hilarious. I didn't even know this quote was in the deck, but this just made my day. Okay, Bob Ross knows, man. That's anyway, okay. So let's find out. Now it is time to find out what spirit of the dish shall be with you in this week. And you have the spirit of the Knight of Mains, which is the spirit of the spaghetti. Okay. Okay, so you have for your dinner and a movie, you have drama, movies, and Mexican food. For your, hold on a second here. For the energies that you need to, I can't speak today, I'm sorry. For the energies that you either need to tap into or be aware of, you have Aries. And this is about like that energy, initiative, a little bit of temperamental. We could be temperamental people, but it's about kind of have that like fiery spark and a little bit of that competitive energy and like kind of that can do, that initial spark to try something. And then you also have Pisces, and they are about vision, creativity, and illusions. And I think they're very intuitive as well, and they're a little bit dreamy. So for whatever reason that something for you this week might be what's necessary. You also have this little devil guy here is Mercury, and he's about communications and thought processes. And you have Neptune, which is about vision, creativity, and illusion as well. So you have the third house, which represents communication, intellect, communities, and relationships. And you have the fourth house, which represents the home, intuition, parenting, and children. And you have the number 6, which is an even. That means today, our special guest who will be answering your questions, Capricorns, will be Mr. Predicto. Think of that question and he shall be out shortly. Okay. We have, let's see, we have A, P, O, H, L, 236. and you have joy. And I think this is saying that maybe there's something that you can do to tap back into your joy. And maybe the Ace of Wands is that action that you need to kind of bring a little bit of joy into your life. Because I feel like right now you are having a little bit of a little stuck energy. So you need to shift that around that. Okay, let's see what little charmy we get for you. Oh, and you have the lollipop. Okay, so to me, this is saying, I think this is just fun. You have to be playful, you know? What else is the lollipop saying? He's kind of silly. He's a silly lollipop. But I just think this is saying you have to be playful. You have to be a little silly right now. And maybe there's a friend that you could always be silly with that you should go hang out with as well. Like your silly lollipop friend. I think we all have that one friend that's like a little silly. Maybe they could kind of help you shift out of it. If you're feeling a little bit stuck and a little bit blah, they could kind of help you shift out of that. Because I think the lollipop, he just wants to be fun, you know? And maybe this is saying that because the lollipops, like, they dissolve. So that even if you're having a moment currently where you just don't feel like things are going great or whatever, that it will pass. It too shall dissolve, and better days are ahead of you. So that's what I'm getting from the little lollipop. Okay, so now it is time, Capricorns. Now, think of your question and let us ask. Oh, Mr. Predicto, the most accurate fortune teller that's ever run off of batteries, what is the answer to Capricorn's question? Okay, so he said highly doubtful. Mr. Predicto is a man of many words, and those were the words he chose to speak here today. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!